There is something moving toward you right now that you cannot see. Not because it is hidden in shadow or lurking behind some corner you have not turned yet, but because it wears the face of something familiar. It looks like a pattern you have already accepted. It sounds like a thought you have been thinking so long you forgot it was not yours. And it is closing distance every single day. Not with malice in the way you imagine malice. Not with a villain's grin or a dramatic betrayal. It moves the way erosion moves. Slowly, steadily, with the patience of something that knows you are not paying attention. If you clicked on this, something in you already knows. There is a part of your awareness, a quiet sentinel that has been sending signals for weeks, maybe months, maybe years, and you have been overriding it, rationalizing it, calling it anxiety, calling it overthinking, calling it nothing. But that signal is not noise. It is the most precise instrument you have. And today we are going to talk about what it is actually detecting, why you have been trained to ignore it, and what happens when you finally stop waiting and respond. This is not about paranoia. This is about a specific, measurable phenomenon that operates at the intersection of neuroscience, quantum information theory, and something older than either of those, something your body has always known, but your culture has systematically taught you to distrust. And by the end of this, you will understand not just what is threatening you, but why you have been cooperating with the threat. More importantly, you will know exactly what to do about it. Not someday. Now. Let us start with something that happened in a laboratory in the late 1990s that most people have never heard about, even though it fundamentally challenges everything we think we know about the direction time moves in. Dean Radin, a researcher at the Institute of Noetic Sciences, designed an experiment that was almost absurdly simple. Participants sat in front of a screen. The screen would flash an image. Some images were calm, neutral, a landscape, a cup of coffee. Others were disturbing, violent, or emotionally charged. The participants' physiological responses were measured. Skin conductance, heart rate, the kinds of signals your autonomic nervous system produces without your conscious permission. Standard stuff so far. But here is where it gets strange. Radin was not measuring the response after the image appeared. He was measuring the response before it appeared. And what he found, replicated now across dozens of studies and multiple independent labs, is that the body begins to react to a disturbing image roughly 2 to 5 seconds before the image is randomly selected and displayed. The body responds before the event, before the stimulus even exists in the timeline as we understand it. This is called presentiment, not precognition in the dramatic, psychic hotline sense. Presentiment, a feeling before. Your physiology shifts in anticipation of something that has not happened yet, something that has not even been determined yet, because the image selection was randomized by a computer algorithm after the measurement window opened. There is no classical explanation for this. No sensory leakage, no pattern recognition, no subtle cue. The body simply knows, and it knows before the knowing is possible. Now sit with that for a moment, because this is not a metaphor I am building toward. This is the starting point. Your body is already responding to things that have not arrived yet. The question is whether you are listening. If you are feeling the weight of that truth, here is something I want to share. Have you spent years chasing manifestation, visualizing, affirming, raising your vibration, only to watch the same patterns repeat? Every traditional method assumes the same thing, that you are separate from what you want. That separation was never real. You were chasing a signal you were already broadcasting. Beyond the frequencies, a quantum guide to consciousness mastery walks through all 9 frequencies. From the dense transmissions trapping you, through the ascending currents, to the master frequencies where consciousness becomes the field. Every method you tried sent a signal outward. This one tunes the signal you already are. Every day you delay, your nervous system broadcasts the same old signal, and breaking free gets harder. So move on it tonight. The link is in the pinned comment below. Now back to the deeper current of what we were exploring. Most of you are not. And the reason you are not is not laziness or stupidity or spiritual immaturity. The reason is that you have been living inside a model of reality that makes this kind of knowing illegitimate. The model says that cause must precede effect, that information travels forward through time, never backward, that the only valid knowledge is knowledge derived from sensory data processed through rational analysis. And inside that model, the gut feeling, the inexplicable dread, the sudden impulse to change your route or cancel the meeting or walk away from someone who has given you no logical reason to distrust them, all of that gets filed under irrationality, superstition, weakness. But the model is wrong. Not philosophically wrong, though it is that too. Empirically wrong. Demonstrably, repeatedly, measurably wrong. The presentiment data is one thread. There are others, and they all point to the same conclusion. You are not a passive receiver of events that happen to you in sequence. You are a field of awareness that extends beyond the boundaries of your skin and beyond the boundary of the present moment. And that field is picking up information all the time. Information about what is forming, what is approaching, what is being aimed at you. Someone is planning to hurt you. I said that in the title, and I mean it, but not in the way your threat detection system probably interpreted it. I am not talking about a person in a dark room drawing up schemes. I am talking about something more pervasive and in many ways more dangerous. I am talking about the patterns, the structures, the dynamics that are already in motion in your life and that are converging toward an outcome you will experience as painful, as loss, as betrayal, as collapse, unless you intervene at the level where intervention actually works. And that level is not where you think it is. Let me explain what I mean by using a concept from physics that most people have heard of, but very few actually understand. The observer effect. In quantum mechanics, the observer effect refers to the fact that the act of measurement changes the system being measured. The most famous demonstration is the double-slit experiment, which has been performed in so many variations over the past century that its results are beyond dispute. When you fire particles, photons, electrons, even molecules, through 2 parallel slits toward a detection screen, they produce an interference pattern. Bands of light and dark that can only be explained if each particle is traveling as a wave, passing through both slits simultaneously and interfering with itself. A single particle, behaving as a wave of probability, exploring every possible path at once. But the moment you place a detector at one of the slits to observe which path the particle actually takes, the interference pattern vanishes. The particle behaves as a particle. It goes through one slit or the other. The wave of possibility collapses into a single actuality, not because you physically disturbed it. In the most refined versions of this experiment, the detection method is so gentle it could not possibly impart enough energy to change the particle's trajectory. It collapses because it was observed, because awareness was directed at it, because something looked. This is not a metaphor. This is the most replicated result in the history of physics, and its implications are staggering if you are willing to follow them past the laboratory and into the architecture of your own life. Because what it tells you is that unobserved systems remain in superposition. They remain as fields of possibility, multiple outcomes coexisting, none of them fixed. And the moment observation is applied, one possibility becomes real, and the others dissolve. If this is already shifting how you see things, take a moment and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. This work goes deeper than most are willing to go, and your support makes it possible. Now let us continue. Now apply this to the thing that is moving toward you, the pattern that is converging, the harm that is forming. As long as you are not looking at it, it remains in superposition. It is not yet fixed. It is a probability, not an inevitability. But here is the part that will change how you move through the rest of your life if you let it. Your refusal to look at it is not neutral. Your avoidance is not keeping you safe. Your avoidance is what allows the wave function to continue developing undisturbed, accumulating probability amplitude in the direction of the outcome you fear most. You are not avoiding the threat. You are incubating it. This is the mechanism underneath the thing people call denial. Denial is not just a psychological defense. It is a quantum strategy, and it is the wrong one. It is the decision to leave a system unobserved, which means it is the decision to let every possible outcome continue evolving, including the worst ones. Especially the worst ones, because, and this is where the presentiment research connects, your body is already responding to the most emotionally charged possibility. The disturbing image, not the neutral one, is what your physiology anticipates. Fear does not prevent the feared outcome. Fear feeds probability into it, and denial gives that probability room to grow. So what does it mean to observe? What does it mean to actually look at the thing that is forming? It does not mean to analyze it with your mind. This is the mistake almost everyone makes. They think observation means thinking about it. Running scenarios, worrying, strategizing. But mental analysis, the kind that loops and spirals and keeps you up at 3 a.m, is not observation. It is a simulation of observation. It is the mind creating a model of the thing and then interacting with the model instead of the thing. And the thing, the actual wave function, the actual probability field, remains untouched. You can think about your problems for 40 years and never once actually observe them. Real observation is something different. It is what the physicists accidentally stumbled into and what the contemplative traditions have been teaching for millennia. It is direct, non-conceptual awareness. It is the act of turning your attention towards something without immediately translating it into narrative, without explaining it, without defending against it, without planning your response to it. Just looking, just being present with what is actually there. There is a practice in Zen called shikantaza. It translates roughly as just sitting, not sitting and meditating on something, not sitting and focusing on the breath or a mantra or a visualization. Just sitting, just being aware, just looking at what is without any agenda for what you want it to become. And the reports from practitioners who sustain this for long periods are remarkably consistent. Things that were stuck begin to move, Things that were hidden become visible. Things that were building toward crisis seem to lose their momentum. Not because the practitioner did anything, because they stopped not looking. This is what I am asking you to do. Not later. Not after you finish this, now. There is something in your life right now, and you know exactly what it is, that you have been refusing to look at directly. A relationship dynamic that is slowly poisoning you. A financial pattern that is building toward a cliff. A health signal your body has been sending that you keep reclassifying as nothing. A way you have been allowing yourself to be treated that you keep excusing because confronting it would require you to change. A lie you have been telling yourself that has become so familiar, it feels like the truth. You know what it is. You knew what it was before I started describing it. Your body shifted when you read those words, and the shift happened before you consciously identified which one applies to you. That is presentiment. That is your field responding to information your conscious mind has not yet processed. And the fact that you are here, watching this right now, is not coincidence. It is that same anticipatory intelligence trying one more time to get your attention. I want to ask you something right now. What was the signal you have been overriding? What is the thing your body has been whispering that your mind keeps dismissing? Drop it in the comments. Not for me, for you. Because the moment you put it into words, you take it out of the dark and into the observed. That is how the collapse begins. Let me go deeper into why you have been ignoring it. Because this is not a willpower problem. This is a structural problem, and the structure has a name. It is called the default mode network, and understanding it will change your relationship with every threat you have ever avoided. The default mode network is a constellation of brain regions, primarily the medial prefrontal cortex, the posterior cingulate cortex, and the angular gyrus that activate when you are not focused on any external task. When you are daydreaming, ruminating, thinking about yourself, thinking about the past, projecting into the future, constructing and maintaining your narrative identity. This is the network that generates the story of you. The ongoing autobiography, the voice in your head that says, I am this kind of person. I always do this. They always do that. This is just how things are. And here is what the neuroscience shows. The default mode network is not just a storyteller. It is a filter. When it is highly active, it suppresses input from other networks, particularly the salience network, which is responsible for detecting what is important, what is new, what is threatening, what deserves attention. The more entrenched your self-narrative, the less able you are to notice what is actually happening. Your story about reality actively prevents you from perceiving reality. This is not a design flaw. It is an efficiency strategy. The brain cannot process every piece of incoming information. So it uses the existing model, the story, to predict what is coming and filter out anything that does not match. And for routine survival, this works beautifully. You do not need to reevaluate the nature of a doorknob every time you encounter one. But when something new is forming, something that does not fit the existing model, something that threatens the narrative itself, the default mode network does not flag it. It suppresses it. It literally prevents it from reaching conscious awareness. Not because it is not important, but because it is too important. Because acknowledging it would require updating the model, and the model is what the default mode network exists to protect. This is why the most dangerous things in your life are the ones you cannot see. Not because they are invisible, but because your own identity structure is actively hiding them from you. The relationship that is destroying you feels normal because your self-narrative includes a chapter called "This is what love looks like." The financial disaster building on the horizon is invisible because your identity includes "I am the kind of person who figures it out." The health warning goes unheard because your story says "I am fine. I have always been fine." The threat is not hiding. You are hiding from the threat. And you are using the most sophisticated cloaking technology in the known universe to do it. Your own sense of self. Now, there is a second layer to this, and it is the one that will sound strange, but is supported by more evidence than most people realize. Your field, the extended awareness I mentioned earlier, is not limited to your own body. It interacts with other fields, constantly, below the threshold of conscious perception, but measurably, physiologically, demonstrably. The HeartMath Institute has spent decades studying the electromagnetic field generated by the human heart. This field extends several feet beyond the body and can be detected and measured by magnetometers. More importantly, it carries information. The rhythmic pattern of your heart, which changes with your emotional state, is broadcast into the space around you, and other people's nervous systems entrain to it. This is not a metaphor. This is measured data. When you are in a state of coherence, when your heart rhythm is smooth and ordered, the people near you tend to shift toward coherence as well. And when you are in a state of incoherence, anxiety, fear, suppressed anger, that broadcasts too. Now extend this principle. If your field is broadcasting, other people's fields are broadcasting to you. And some of what you are picking up, some of what your body is responding to, is not your own internal state. It is incoming information from the fields around you. The unease you feel around certain people that has no logical basis, the dread that settles over you when you walk into a room where an argument just happened, even though no one tells you about it. The way you just know that someone is not telling you the truth, even when their words are perfect and their face is calm. That is not intuition in the vague, mystical sense. That is your nervous system decoding electromagnetic information that your conscious mind does not have the bandwidth to process. And here is where it becomes urgent. If someone in your life is cultivating an intention toward you, an intention to deceive, to exploit, to control, to leave, to harm, that intention is not just a thought in their head. It is a physiological state in their body. It has a signature. It radiates. And your system is picking it up. The feeling you have been dismissing, the one that says something is wrong here. Something does not add up. I do not feel safe. That feeling is data. High-fidelity data. And you have been throwing it away because it did not come with a footnote. Stop throwing it away. I want to be precise about what I am not saying, because precision matters here. I am not saying that every anxious feeling is a valid premonition. I am not saying that fear is always a signal and never a distortion. The nervous system can absolutely generate false alarms, especially if it has been shaped by trauma. If it learned early that the world is dangerous and never updated that learning. A traumatized nervous system can read threat into every neutral face, every closed door, every unanswered text message. That is real, and it needs to be addressed with its own specific tools. But here is how you tell the difference. And this distinction is one of the most important things you will ever learn. Anxiety generated by old trauma has a quality of familiarity. It feels like something you have felt before. It comes with a story, usually a story about your own inadequacy or the world's fundamental hostility. It tends to be diffuse, everywhere and nowhere, a fog rather than a signal. And when you bring gentle attention to it, when you just look at it without reacting, it often intensifies briefly and then begins to soften, because it is old energy seeking completion, not new information seeking response. A genuine signal from your extended awareness feels different. It is specific. It points somewhere. It is often accompanied by a physical sensation in a particular location: the gut, the chest, the back of the neck. It does not come with a familiar story. It comes with a sense of novelty, of something you have not quite felt before, or something you have felt but keep dismissing. And when you bring attention to it, it does not dissolve. It clarifies. It gets sharper. It starts to show you something. It wants to be seen. Learn to feel the difference. This is not a skill that takes years. It takes willingness and about 10 minutes of honest internal attention. And once you can distinguish between the echo of old pain and the signal of present moment intelligence, you have access to a navigational system that operates faster and more accurately than any rational analysis you could perform. I am curious about something. Have you ever had a moment where you felt a signal, a clear knowing in your body, and you either trusted it or ignored it, and then saw exactly how it played out? Tell me about that moment in the comments. Your experience might be the exact thing someone else here needs to hear to start trusting their own. Let me tell you what happens in the body when you finally let the signal through. When you stop overriding it and allow the information to reach consciousness. There is a concept in physics called phase transition. It is the moment when a system shifts from one state to another. Water becoming ice, ice becoming water. The system does not change gradually. It accumulates energy or releases it until it reaches a critical threshold, and then it shifts all at once. One moment it is liquid, the next it is solid. The transition is non-linear. It is sudden, and it is irreversible under the same conditions. Your awareness works the same way. You do not gradually become aware of what you have been avoiding. You are not aware, not aware, not aware, and then you are aware. All at once. The denial breaks like a fever. And in that moment, several things happen simultaneously. Your default mode network, the narrative machine, goes temporarily quiet. The salience network lights up. Your perception of the situation shifts from the story you have been telling to the reality that has been there all along. And your body, which has been holding the tension of knowing but not knowing, often releases it in a single wave. A deep exhale, a trembling, sometimes tears that do not feel sad, they feel like relief. Because the most exhausting thing a human being can do is maintain a false model of reality against the constant pressure of the true one. And when you stop, the energy that was going into that maintenance floods back into your system. This is the moment of observation. This is the collapse of the wave function. And just like in the laboratory, the act of looking changes what you are looking at. The situation that was developing in the dark, accumulating probability, building toward an outcome you did not want, is now exposed to your awareness. And awareness, directed awareness, is not passive. It is the most active force in the universe. It is the thing that turns possibility into actuality. And when you direct it consciously, you get to participate in which actuality emerges. Let me be concrete. Say the thing you have been avoiding is a relationship where you are being slowly diminished, where someone is taking more than they give, where the dynamic has shifted so gradually that you did not notice the water getting hotter. Your body noticed. Your sleep changed. Your appetite changed. Your creativity dried up. You started needing more recovery time after seeing this person. But your narrative said, this is love. This is commitment. This is what it means to be a good partner, or a good friend, or a loyal employee. And so you overrode the signals. You stayed in the story. The moment you observe, the moment you let yourself see the pattern without the story, something shifts in the field between you and this person. This is not mystical speculation. This is basic systems theory. Every relationship is a dynamic system with feedback loops. When one element of the system changes its behavior, the entire system must reorganize. And the change does not have to be dramatic. You do not have to confront anyone. You do not have to make a speech. Sometimes the shift is as subtle as where you place your attention. You stop performing the role the dynamic requires of you. You stop laughing at the thing that is not funny. You stop explaining yourself when no explanation is owed. You stop filling the silence that the other person is weaponizing. And the system, which depended on your unconscious cooperation, begins to destabilize. This is what it means to prevent the harm before it arrives. Not by building walls, not by attacking first, not by running, by becoming conscious, by observing what is actually happening instead of what your narrative says is happening, by trusting the data your body has been collecting and your mind has been discarding. Now I want to take this deeper, into territory that most people are not willing to enter, because it implicates you in a way that is uncomfortable. And I need you to stay with me here, because this is where the real transformation lives. The harm that is approaching you is not entirely external. It never is. There is a concept in Jungian psychology called the shadow. And while Jung was not a physicist, his insight maps onto the quantum framework with unsettling precision. The shadow is the collection of everything about yourself that you have rejected, denied, or refused to integrate. The anger you will not admit to, the desire you have labeled unacceptable, the capacity for cruelty that you insist does not exist in you. The grief you skipped over because there was not time, because you had to be strong, because no one was going to carry it for you. These rejected aspects do not disappear when you deny them. They go underground. They become unconscious. And unconscious material, in the quantum framework we have been building, is unobserved material. It remains in superposition. It remains a field of probability. And because it is unobserved, it is free to develop in any direction, including directions that work against your conscious intentions. This is the mechanism behind self-sabotage. Not a lack of willpower, not a character flaw, an unobserved system evolving according to its own logic, outside the reach of your conscious awareness, and producing outcomes that seem to come from nowhere, but actually come from the part of you that you refuse to look at. The person who is planning to hurt you, the one I mentioned at the beginning, is partly out there and partly in here. The external threat and the internal shadow are not separate. They are entangled in the precise quantum mechanical sense. They are correlated across a distance that should not allow correlation. The relationship that diminishes you found you because something in your shadow resonated with it. The financial pattern that is building toward collapse is being fed by an unconscious belief about what you deserve. The health signal you keep ignoring is the body expressing what the psyche will not. This is not blame. Hear me carefully. This is not. I am saying you caused your own suffering. Causation in a quantum system is not linear. It is not A causes B. It is A and B are correlated because they share an entangled state. The external harm and the internal shadow are two expressions of the same unobserved wave function. And the way you address both simultaneously is the same. You observe, you look. You bring the light of awareness to what has been developing in the dark. Here is a practice. I want you to do this now, not later. Later is the default mode network's favorite word. Later means never. Now. Close your eyes if you can. If you are driving, keep them open, but soften your focus. Let the visual field blur slightly. Bring your attention to the center of your chest, not your anatomical heart, but the space behind your sternum, the place that tightens when you are afraid and opens when you feel safe. Just rest your attention there. Do not try to feel anything specific. Just notice what is already there. Now, without forcing it, without constructing it with your mind, let an image or a sensation or a word arise that represents the thing you have been avoiding, the thing your body has been trying to tell you about. Do not go looking for it. Let it come to you. It might be a face. It might be a number. It might be a feeling with no name. It might be a location, a room, a building, a city. Whatever comes first, before your mind can edit it, that is the signal. That is the data your system has been trying to deliver. Now here is the crucial part. Do not do anything with it. Do not start planning. Do not start worrying. Do not start constructing a narrative about what it means or what you should do. Just look at it. Just let it be there, in your awareness, seen, observed. This is the act that collapses the wave function. This is the act that takes the threat out of superposition and into a specific, addressable reality. And a reality you can see is a reality you can respond to. It is the unseen ones that destroy you. Stay with it for a few breaths. Notice what happens in your body as you hold this in awareness. You might feel a softening. You might feel a surge of energy. You might feel fear, but a different kind of fear than the diffuse anxiety of avoidance. A clean fear. A focused fear, the kind that comes with information rather than confusion. That is the fear of someone who can see the tiger, as opposed to the fear of someone who can hear rustling in the grass, but will not turn around. Good. You can open your eyes. What you just did in less than 2 minutes is more powerful than months of strategic planning from a state of denial. Because you changed the fundamental condition of the system. You moved from unobserved to observed. And in a quantum system, that changes everything. Now let me address the practical dimension, because awareness without action is incomplete, and I do not want to leave you in a contemplative space when there is something concrete bearing down on you. The observation is the first step, the necessary step, the step without which nothing else works. But there is a second step, and it involves something that the contemplative traditions call right action, and that physics describes as coherent signal propagation. When your heart rhythm is coherent, smooth, ordered, rhythmically consistent, The electromagnetic signal it broadcasts is strong, clear, and far-reaching. When it is incoherent, jagged, erratic, the signal is weak, noisy, and short-range. This is not metaphor, this is measured. And the practical implication is this: the state from which you act determines the reach and clarity of your action. An action taken from incoherence, from panic, from reactivity, from the default mode network's crisis narrative, is like shouting into static. It does not propagate. It does not land. It does not change the field. An action taken from coherence, from the still, clear awareness that comes after genuine observation, propagates like a laser. It cuts through noise. It reaches the places it needs to reach. It changes the system. So the sequence is this: observe. Let the wave function collapse. See what is actually there. Then, from that seeing, from the coherence that follows the end of denial, act, and the action will be obvious. It always is, once you can see. The reason you have not known what to do is not that the situation is too complex. It is that you have been trying to solve it from inside the denial, which is like trying to navigate a city while refusing to look at the map. The action might be a conversation you have been postponing. It might be a boundary you have been afraid to set. It might be a departure you have been telling yourself you are not ready for. It might be a phone call to a doctor, a lawyer, a therapist, a friend. It might be the simple, devastating act of telling the truth to someone who has been receiving your performance instead. You will know what it is. Your body already knows. It has been rehearsing the right action for as long as it has been sending the signal you were ignoring. There is one more layer I want to address, and it has to do with the nature of time. Because the title of this video contains an urgency, and I want to explain why that urgency is not manipulation. It is physics. In classical mechanics, time is a line. The past is behind you, fixed. The future is ahead of you, open. The present is a moving point on the line. And in that model, there is always more time. You can always address it later. The future is infinite, or at least long enough that urgency is rarely justified. But in quantum mechanics, time does not work that way. The Wheeler delayed choice experiment, first proposed by John Archibald Wheeler in 1978, and experimentally confirmed multiple times since, demonstrates something extraordinary. The decision to observe or not observe a quantum system can be made after the particle has already passed through the slits, and it still determines whether the particle behaved as a wave or a particle. The future measurement retroactively shapes the past behavior. This is not theoretical. This has been done with photons in a laboratory. The observation in the present reaches back and reorganizes what has already happened. The implication is staggering. Your act of observation now does not just affect the future. It reorganizes the past. It changes the meaning, the trajectory, the causal structure of events that have already occurred. The relationship that has been slowly poisoning you for years does not just stop being poisonous going forward. The act of finally seeing it clearly recasts the entire history. You see the moments you missed, the signals you ignored, and they shift from being evidence of your failure into evidence of a system that was operating exactly as it was designed to operate, producing exactly the learning it was designed to produce, and waiting with infinite patience for you to observe it. This is why there is urgency. Not because the threat will arrive tomorrow and you will be too late, but because every moment you spend in denial is a moment the wave function continues to evolve unobserved. And when it finally collapses, when reality forces the observation you would not make voluntarily, the range of possible outcomes has narrowed. The probability has accumulated. The phase transition, when it comes, will be more dramatic, more painful, more disorienting than it needed to be. Not as punishment, as physics. The universe is not punishing you for not paying attention. It is simply operating according to principles that do not care whether you understand them. An unobserved system evolves. A wave function accumulates. A phase transition occurs at threshold. These are not moral statements. They are descriptions of how reality works. And the compassionate response to understanding how reality works is to work with it rather than against it. You have been working against it, not deliberately, not from malice toward yourself, from training, from a culture that told you to ignore your body, override your instincts, trust the narrative, stay positive, do not look at the dark thing, just keep moving forward. And that training has left you exposed. It has left you standing in an open field with your eyes closed, insisting that what you cannot see cannot hurt you. And something is walking toward you across that field, something that your body can already feel, something that your heart is already broadcasting a warning about, something that your dreams have been showing you in symbols you keep dismissing when you wake. Open your eyes. Not metaphorically, not eventually, not when you are ready, now. Because readiness is another story the default mode network tells to maintain the narrative. You are never ready to see what you have been hiding from yourself. You just see it. And then you are changed. And then the action becomes clear. And then the wave function collapses into something you can actually work with instead of something that works on you. Consider sharing this with someone who you know has been ignoring their own signals. When you pass this kind of awareness forward, it does not just help them. It strengthens the coherence in your own field. The act of directing someone else toward observation reinforces your own commitment to seeing clearly, and it creates a resonance between two fields that amplifies the signal for both of you. That is not sentiment. That is how coherent systems work. Here is what I want you to carry out of this. Not as a belief, not as a philosophy, as a practice. Every day, for the next 7 days, find 3 minutes of stillness. Not meditation in the formal sense. Just 3 minutes where you are not consuming, not producing, not performing. 3 minutes of just looking. And in those 3 minutes, ask one question. What am I not letting myself see? Do not answer it with your mind. Let your body answer. Let the sensation come. Let the image surface. Let the knowing arrive on its own schedule, which is always faster than the mind's schedule, because the body does not have to translate the information into language before delivering it. And when something surfaces, do not flinch. Do not immediately start solving it. Just observe it. Just let it be there in the light of your awareness. That act alone begins to change the probability field. That act alone starts to collapse the wave function toward an outcome that includes your participation rather than your victimhood. That act alone is the difference between someone who is hurt by what they never saw coming and someone who met the thing in the open, with their eyes clear and their heart coherent, and responded from a place of power rather than panic. The threat is real. I am not going to soften that. Something in your life is converging toward an outcome that will cost you if you remain unconscious. But the threat is not what you think it is. It is not the external event. It is not the other person. It is not the circumstance. The threat is your own unobserved awareness. The threat is the gap between what your body knows and what your mind will admit. The threat is the story you are telling instead of the reality you are living. And the solution is the oldest technology in human history. Older than language, older than tools, older than fire. The solution is attention. Conscious, directed, unflinching attention. The willingness to look at what is there rather than what you wish were there. The courage to let the wave function collapse, even when you do not know what it will collapse into. The trust that an observed reality, no matter how difficult, is infinitely more navigable than an unobserved one. You are not a victim of what is coming. You are the observer. And the observer is the one variable in the equation that changes everything. Whatever you have been avoiding, it has been patient. It has waited while you looked away. It has grown in the dark of your inattention, but it is not bigger than your awareness. Nothing is bigger than your awareness. Awareness is the field in which all things arise, including threats, including shadows, including the very self that has been doing the avoiding. And when the field turns its attention toward what has been growing in its own unlit corners, what it finds is never as terrifying as what it imagined. Because imagination, operating in denial, always inflates the threat. It has to. It is using fear to justify the avoidance. But reality, observed directly, is always specific. It is always finite. It is always something you can meet. Meet it, not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, not when the circumstances improve. Now. In the next 3 minutes of stillness you give yourself. In the next honest conversation you allow yourself to have. In the next moment, you choose to trust the signal over the story. The wave function is waiting for your observation. The probability field is waiting for your participation. The future, which is not fixed, which is not written, which is still in superposition, there is something moving toward you right now that you cannot see. Not because it is hidden in shadow or lurking behind some corner you have not turned yet, but because it wears the face of something familiar. It looks like a pattern you have already accepted. It sounds like a thought you have been thinking so long, you forgot it was not yours. And it is closing distance every single day, not with malice in the way you imagine malice, not with a villain's grin or a dramatic betrayal. It moves the way erosion moves. Slowly, steadily, with the patience of something that knows you are not paying attention. If you clicked on this, something in you already knows. There is a part of your awareness, a quiet sentinel that has been sending signals for weeks, maybe months, maybe years, and you have been overriding it, rationalizing it, calling it anxiety, calling it overthinking, calling it nothing. But that signal is not noise. It is the most precise instrument you have. And today we are going to talk about what it is actually detecting, why you have been trained to ignore it, and what happens when you finally stop waiting and respond. This is not about paranoia. This is about a specific, measurable phenomenon that operates at the intersection of neuroscience, quantum information theory, and something older than either of those. Something your body has always known, but your culture has systematically taught you to distrust. And by the end of this, You will understand not just what is threatening you, but why you have been cooperating with the threat. More importantly, you will know exactly what to do about it. Not someday. Now. Let us start with something that happened in a laboratory in the late 1990s that